everyone, this is Chrissy. I just wanted to do a really quick video because a few of my clients have been asking for some help with this, and that is going to be updating their software on their WordPress website. This is a very, very frequently asked question. We do this for our clients on a regular basis. We do it weekly. And I want to make sure that everybody is keeping their websites as secure as possible. So even if we're not doing the updates for you, I want to make sure that you're doing them yourself. So first thing you can see, I'm in the WordPress dashboard, and I can see that I've got 15 updates that need to be run. And this is not a live site. This is actually WordPress on my computer. I purposely haven't updated it in a while so I could show everyone how to do this. So the first thing that I need to do is make a backup, because we want to update WordPress and we don't want to risk breaking the site or having a broken site for any amount of time if we run the updates and something breaks. So you do need to make an update, you do need to make a backup of the WordPress website before you run your updates. And depending on where your website is hosted, you can probably do it on the server. So for example, we have a lot of websites on WP Engine, and one of the really nice features of that hosting provider, they have on-demand backups. So we'll run the backups on the server before we run the updates on WordPress. If your hosting provider does not have on-demand backups, then you can use something like Updraft Plus, which is what I'm going to show you how to do right now. So you'll go into settings and then Updraft Plus backups. So I'm going to select that. And I've already set this all up and everything. I'm just going to close some of these. And I'm going to click on Backup Now. So I click on that. I want to include my database and my files. So I'm going to click on Backup. And this can take a few minutes to do. So you just grab a cup of coffee, or if you're like me, grab some tea. And you wait while it backs up, and it's going to create a backup of everything for your site. So you can see it's finished running. I'll just click on close, and there is the backup that I just created. So if when I run my updates, if the updates break the site, then I would just come back to this page and I would click on restore, and that's going to revert my website back to the last version before I ran the updates. So let's go ahead and run the updates now. So I'm going to go up here at the top of my screen where I've got this little circular arrow icon and the number 15, or I can go to Dashboard, Updates, and then click on that. So we'll go here. Let me dismiss some of these screens here. You can see here, before updating, please back up your database and files, which I've already done. And let's see, there's an updated version of WordPress available. I have several plugin updates available. And I've also got some theme updates available. So I'm going to run my theme updates first. So I'm just going to run them all at once. So I'm going to click on the Select All. And then I'm going to Update Themes. And this may take a minute. And there we go, that was pretty quick. I have an error updating the Divi theme because it is a commercial theme. I do have a Divi license, but I haven't installed it on this test site yet, so I'm just going to leave that not updated for right now. Alright, so I go back to my updates, and you can see I still have Divi needs to be updated. But before I run my plugin updates, I'm going to check the website and make sure that it still looks good. So I can just refresh it, make sure nothing's broken. Looks good. This is just using some default content that I used for another theme. And let me actually change the theme real quick. I believe we used My Success. Oh, no, maybe not. No, we just won't update it. We won't change that. Yeah, it was My Success, but I don't feel like going through and setting everything up as part of this video. So now we're going to go back to the dashboard and then go to updates, and we can see I now have 10 updates available. One of them was the theme. It's not showing up as needing to be updated for some reason, the Divi theme. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to check off all of the plugins for updating. So I'm going to check and select all. Now, if you have a lot of plugins that need to be updated, I do recommend not doing them all at once. I only have a few that need to be updated, but I have some websites where we're running WooCommerce, the events calendar, and we've got a whole bunch of WooCommerce extensions, and we've got all of the events calendar extensions. So, and they're integrated together, and we've had some issues where things are broken, and we need to pinpoint where it breaks. So when we do that, we'll update all of the plugins except for WooCommerce and the events calendar plugins, and then we'll go through and we'll run updates on the WooCommerce plugins, make sure everything is still working, and then we go through and run the updates on the event calendar plugins and make sure everything is still working. And when we're doing that, we're actually making backups between some of those updates. So that way, if I update all my plugins and everything works, but then I update my WooCommerce plugins and something breaks, I don't have to roll back all the way. I don't have to roll back to my backup that I created before I ran any updates. I can just roll back to the backup that I created before I updated WooCommerce. So you might need to run some intermediate backups when you're doing the update if you have a lot of things to update. But I'm just going to live with my one backup that I created, and I'm going to click on Update Plugins. So that'll update all my plugins. Again, it may take a minute or two. Depends on how many plugins you've got and how fast your FTP is. So it's just going to run these updates. Let's see how fast it goes. And while these updates are running, it'll put your website in maintenance mode, and it'll say that you're running regularly scheduled maintenance. All right, so everything is updated. And when I run the updates on the plugins, I usually do, again, check the website. So I'm going to refresh this, make sure nothing broke. It looks different because now the my engine was updated, and I'm using the my theme instead. All right, so it looks good. And then I usually, when I run plugins, depending on how many I'm doing and if I've had issues with any plugins before, I'll check the back end as well. So I'll just check and make sure that my posts are okay. Like if I go to add a new post, that'll still work. So I'm not going to actually publish this or anything, but I just want to check and make sure that nothing broke on the back end as well. So I'll check and make sure I can add a post, that I can add a page, or I can edit a page. I do a little bit of checking here, and if anything breaks, then I can roll back to my backup. But everything looks good. Don't see any issues. I'm not seeing anything broken back here, but again, you can check a bit more. So I'm going to go back to my updates. Go back in here, and the last thing that I'm going to update is WordPress. So WordPress 5.6 is available. I'm going to click on Update Now, and again, it's going to go into maintenance mode while it does the update. So it's going to take a few seconds or a few minutes, and it's updated. Let me go back into updates, and I need to update manually from 5.5.3 to 5.6. There we go. So I'm going to run this update again. And for some reason, I think because I'm using the Bitnami updater. So if you ever have issues with that, then you might need to, let me update this theme here. You might need to run updates manually. And what that means is you might need to download the plugin, the theme, or the WordPress core and replace the files on your file system. So I'm using WordPress installed on my computer using the Bitnami installer. So it's all sitting on my computer, and I would just replace the files on my computer. So let me go back to updates. I got to update the WordPress database. There we go. Now I'm in 5.6. All right, so let me check the website again. Make sure nothing is broken. Looks good so far. Let me check the dashboard. Go to my posts. Nothing looks broken. Let me see. This looks good. Go to my pages. This looks good. Let's see. Yeah, that looks good. I'm not seeing anything broken, not anything really obvious. So I didn't need to restore my backup, but again, just in case you do, you would go to settings, updraft plus backups, and you would just click on that restore button before you run the update, or after you run the update if something breaks. If you are doing this on your server, you would run the backup on the server, and you would restore on the server as well. So I hope this was helpful. You can see it's a relatively painless process. I'm actually working on a class that goes a little bit more in depth with this, and will cover things like tips for troubleshooting, and go a little bit more in depth on how to fix some of the frequently found errors, how to pinpoint which plugin is causing any issues with the update. So check out for that. I'm probably not going to post it on YouTube. I might post that on our website, but keep an eye on the YouTube channel for that information. So if you have any questions, go ahead and comment them. If you haven't already subscribed, please do go ahead and subscribe. We'd love to give you the content that we're posting. We should be posting some more WordPress videos in the very near future. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I hope to talk to you again soon.